There are 6 principles of productivity that most people overlook. Overlooked because they're basic. Also, that means they're easy to implement and will make a huge difference if you do. This is the premise of my book, For Starters. It's about these 6 principles of productivity. I'm going to go through them one at a time. This is your Cliff's Notes version. So if you like this, you probably will get a lot out of my book. First, let's define productivity. I'm not talking about making yourself busier or maximizing your output. That's actually not productive at all. What we're talking about is optimizing productivity. Every human on this earth has a purpose, has a potential impact. Now, that changes as they grow and develop and change environments, but at any given moment, there's a potential impact for every single human on this planet. A truly productive person is making that impact that they were meant to make. I call the book For Starters because if you think about the starters on a sports team, they're the ones who get out there and make the difference that they were meant to make. So principle number 1, gratitude feeds you and frees you. People may roll their eyes when they hear gratitude, but it's number 1 on this list for a reason. The data speaks for itself. In 2005, Duke University did a study on, they called it 3 good things. You can look it up. Basically, they tracked the happiness of a group of people who they had every night before they went to bed. They wrote down 3 good things that happened to them that day. That's it. It took only a few minutes, if that. And after a week, they started noticing benefits. After 2 weeks, they were trending, the results were trending better than on the market antidepressants. Now, this is not an endorsement to ditch your meds. Please don't think that. But if you can implement this simple behavior of gratitude every night for these kinds of results, less stress, better sleep, improved relationships, less anxiety, wouldn't it be worth it? I actually implement this myself and my family. I do this with my kids. I ask them to tell me their 3 good things before night when they go to bed at night, every single night. Because in a world saturated with anxiety and depression, I want them to have that edge. And I want you to have it too. Principle number 2, identity is the bedrock of your impact. People mistakenly think that their power comes from a title, a position, achievements, associations. Those might offer a limited amount of power for a limited amount of time, but they are not the true source of power. Your power comes from your identity, your gifts, your strengths, your talents, your weaknesses, your likes and dislikes. When I coach with individuals, we talk a lot about values. That's all a part of your identity. Now, identity is made up partly of DNA, nature, and then partly of nurture, of our environments, our culture that we're in. So it can change throughout times, but that core, who you are, that is where your impact comes from. That is where your power comes from. And it is no one else's business. Now, part of that nurture aspect of your identity has to do with who you surround yourself with. And that brings us to principle number 3. Success hinges on having the right team. Make no mistake, the biggest influencers of the decisions you make in life are the people that you're surrounded by. Be so careful in cultivating those relationships that are closest to you. They will make a massive difference. Now, the world wants you to think that it's about quantity, more followers, more friends, more people in your life. No. This is my most popular keynote for a reason. It doesn't take a village, my friends. It takes a team, a very carefully curated one. It is not about quantity, it is about quality. Now, you might notice that the first 3 principles are internal or intrinsic. They're about being. The last 3 principles are about doing. They're about movement and output. Principle number 4, impact can only be achieved through action. You can plan all you want, but at some point those boots have to be on the ground. You have to do the work. You have to make a movement. There is risk in over planning. Now, the decisions that we make every day, we're in this constant activity of measuring and weighing risks and benefits. Here's the trick. The very moment that you have an inkling that a benefit might outweigh the risk, you have to move. You have to take action. So get moving. Don't let fear, distraction, or discouragement stop you. Principle number 5, starters aim to give. Starters, the best leaders, They have an attitude of giving. It is an outward mindset. If you haven't read the book, The Outward Mindset by the Arbinger Institute, this is your sign. When starters set a goal, they don't see that goal as the end. They see that goal as the means of making a difference in the world. The whole point of maximizing our own potential is to make a difference in the world around us. That is the attitude of a starter. And finally, finishing is a matter of clarity. Principle number 6. It wouldn't really be a discussion of starting if we didn't at least mention finishing. But the problem is finishing is a hazier concept. It's a harder definition than starting. So really what we want to emphasize here is clarity. That's the goal. Sometimes we set a goal and we think that we have to have this fortitude and tenacity and grit, and that goal is in stone and it's not moving, and we have to keep that ironclad determination to get there. Now there's value in that, but what if that goal ends up being wrong? Because a lot of times we can't have that clarity until principle number 4, we've acted and we've started down the path. And as we get down that path, we get some clarity. And sometimes we might realize that goal needs to shift, or that goal might just be completely wrong for me. Now, when that goal is right, have that tenacity. It's gonna take it. But when that goal might be wrong and you get that clarity that it is, you have to have the humility to quit. Quit because it's wrong, never because it's hard. These are the 6 principles of productivity. I'll go through them one more time. Gratitude feeds you and frees you. Number 2, identity is the bedrock of your impact. 3, success hinges on having the right team. Number 4, impact is only achieved through action. 5, starters aim to give. And last, finishing is a matter of clarity. These are the 6 principles of productivity for starters, principles you may be overlooking. And if you like content like this, please subscribe.